Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Upshift podcast, the podcast that is all about Formula racing. Today we are talking Formula 2 feature race in Mugello and the qualifying for the Formula 1 race that is coming up in exactly 10 hours nearly. About 10 and a half hours. We're starting with F2. The Mugello race was kind of interesting. It was really interesting, actually. I don't know why I said kind of. Because there's two safety cars, like, right at the end. But getting into it, Christian Luungard kind of dominated the race for most of it. He stayed ahead of everyone. Obviously, a lot of people overtook him in the pit lane, but then he was just in a net race lead because everyone else ahead of him had to pit. So he was in a net race lead for most of it. And then he was kind of under pressure from Luca Ghiotto, but Luca couldn't really get there. He didn't have the grip to get past him. Didn't have the pace. So he just couldn't get past him. So Christian Luungard held the net race lead, and then he finally got into the race lead because everyone else pit. And then a safety car came out because I forgot. Sorry. A safety car came out, and then that bunched up the grid. First, it was a virtual safety car, and then a full safety car came out because, Giuliano Alesi, right? Because Giuliano Alesi's car retired, and he couldn't get into the between the barriers, so they had to pull the tractor out to lift it up and get it back to the pits. So they had to call out the full safety car, bunched up the grid, and then they went on racing again. Christian Luungard held first position, held back Luca Ghiotto, held back everyone behind him, but then, bam, crashes behind him. Yuki Tsunoda out, Jack Aitken out, Kelle Mailot had broken front wing, collision with Mick Schumacher right behind, and then people were like, oh, okay, Christian Luungard, maybe Luca Ghiotto, but we think, yeah, it's pretty good. Then another safety car came out, and then everyone retired, and then Nikita Mazepin came out of nowhere into P4, and then the restart happened, and then Christian Luungard just tumbled down the grid, and he couldn't do anything. He had no grip, he had no tires, he was overtaken by everyone. And it was really sad because he kept that race lead up until the last 3 laps. He was behind the safety car, holding everyone back, holding charging Luca Ghiotto, charging. Everyone was just getting right there, but he was defending for his life, and he did well. But then just taken away at the last 3 laps, he tumbled down to P5. He scored in P5 position. Kelle Mailot ended up not scoring any points, and Robert Schwartzman had a mechanical DNF. So no points for them. And then Mick Schumacher, he now holds the championship lead by 4 points over Kelle Mailot. Nothing really changed in the standings, by the way, other than Mick Schumacher and Kelle Mailot switched. So now there's still top 3 is Schumacher, Mailot, and Schwartzman. But Schumacher now holds the lead, and he is 13 points ahead of his teammate Robert Schwartzman. Nikita Mazepin ended up winning. Behind him was Luca Ghiotto, and behind him was Louis Delatraz. So good race by everyone there. By the way, Dan Ticktum, he kept saying that he just had bad luck throughout the entire race and throughout, so far, his F2 career. I don't think so, especially in this race. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're a Dan Ticktum fan. I'm sorry, Josh Ravel. I'm so sorry. But he didn't have the pace. He did not have the pace. He didn't have the tires. That contributed obviously to the pace, but he just didn't have the pace. He didn't have the pace to keep up with everyone. He didn't have the straight line speed. He barely got past I think Sato. He barely got past him, and he just struggled throughout the entire race. So it's not a bad luck thing, it's a pace thing. So you need to improve upon that. But now moving on to Formula 1 and qualifying, and it was exciting because it was the first time we saw qualifying in Mugello, and fans were there, by the way. I didn't mention that before because this is the first episode on Mugello, but fans are there. The Tifosi are there, obviously, for the Ferrari 1000th Grand Prix. So Tifosi were out there supporting everyone just to see Sebastian Vettel get out in Q1. Good job. Or it was Q2. I don't remember. Oh my god. I need to check. Yeah, it was Q2. Sebastian Vettel got knocked out in Q2, but his teammate got it up in P5. So is that a sign that Vettel doesn't really have the pace to match like Ferrari's expectations? That could be, but he's obviously a very talented driver, and he just got that drive at Aston Martin. By the way, I do know about that, and an episode will be coming out on Wednesday, I believe. It will be coming out soon. I'll do a whole in-depth thing about that. But the results were as follows from 20th. Kevin Magnussen, Nicholas Latifi, and George Russell. By the way, Nicholas Latifi, I think this is a kind of a prediction kind of in the future, but I think he will be scoring points this year, by the way, because he's been there. He's been 2 P11 finishes, sorry, and he's been doing pretty good. And by the way, he's the only rookie, so is there really any point in like awarding someone else the Rookie of the Year because there's no other rookies? But whatever. Just give it to him. Then after Nicholas Latifi is George Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi, Pierre Gasly, who had a disappointing day following the most amazing win I've ever seen in my entire life. He got knocked out in Q1 in P16. Romain Grosjean followed him, followed by Sebastian Vettel, Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi Raikkonen did amazing, getting that Alfa Romeo up into P13, getting another Q2 appearance, and almost getting into Q3. So is that signs that Alfa Romeo could get into Q3 and score more points? Or are they just going to kind of stay in there like Williams is kind of doing right now, which is kind of stay outside the points, but like kind of right outside the points, like those P13s, P12s, P15s, in that range? It probably does, but I think Kimi will be able to score points because he's doing very well, and his teammate isn't doing as well as him. Everyone's saying that Kimi doesn't really have pace anymore, but this shows that he has better pace than Antonio Giovinazzi, and frankly, a lot of people, Sebastian Vettel, the Ferrari car, even as bad as it is, it's faster than the Alfa Romeo. Like, come on. It's definitely faster than the Alfa Romeo. But Kimi keeps out-qualifying the Ferraris, and he beat them in Spa. So, yeah, it's incredible to see him get up into Q2. Following him was Daniel Kvyat. Kind of a disappointing weekend with Alpha Tauri. I think they could have gotten better, but it's not really a track that suited them. I think it's more of because it's a high downforce circuit, opposed to Spa and Monza, which is a low downforce circuit, which they looked rapid in. But we'll see tomorrow. Followed him was Lando Norris. Very disappointing very disappointing day for both McLarens. Lando, I kind of understand Lando. I was talking to my dad during qualifying. Maybe he had some issues after his crash in FP2. Maybe I just don't think so, because I'm pretty sure it was only on the front end or like a little tap on the back end. But just maybe that kind of threw off the car. Maybe there's like damage somewhere that they don't see. But yeah, they said that they didn't feel good around this track, and that definitely showed today. But following him was Esteban Ocon, and then Carlos Sainz, Lando's teammate, in P9. Daniel Ricciardo, kind of a okay day. I keep saying weekend. I don't know why. Kind of a okay day for Renault. I think they could have gotten better, and I definitely think that they know that they could be better. But P8 and P10 is all that they could get. P7 is Lance Stroll. P6 is Sergio Perez. They will be switching tomorrow because Sergio Perez does have that one-place grid penalty. P5 is Charles Leclerc. So good job by Charles Leclerc getting that boat with a hole in it up into P5. I really need to stop making jokes at Ferrari. Please don't kill me, Mattia Binotto. It's just a joke. P4 is Alex Albon. Finally, we get a good qualifying result by Alex Albon. He starts on the second grid. I'm pretty sure his highest qualifying position, but good job, Albon. Finally, he gets something, gets there. He's doing better, I think. He's getting his qualifying together. He's trying to improve, and he was only 0.4 off of Verstappen. He was nearly a second off of Lewis Hamilton, but that's a Mercedes. Like, Verstappen can't really match them. So I definitely think that he is improving. Followed him is his teammate Max Verstappen, who starts on second row lockout for Red Bull. Then followed by Valtteri Bottas, and then of course Lewis Hamilton. Some predictions for the coming race. I think that Lewis Hamilton will win the Grand Prix. I definitely think he has the pace, obviously, because he nearly set a new track record, which definitely does not make me angry and does not make me think that this year will just be a completely dominant year. By Mercedes, and no one else will win anymore. It'll just be Lewis, and yeah. But I think that Lewis will win this Grand Prix. I think following him will be Max Verstappen. I think that he definitely has the pace to beat Bottas. I think he has the car to beat Bottas, and I definitely think he has the talent to beat Bottas. Around this circuit especially, he looked really good, and he was better than both Mercedes almost every single lap in the last sector. He was just completely faster than them. He was like 3/10 faster than them. Obviously, he lost time in the first two sectors, because that's it's just one turn and then nearly flat out throughout that entire sector. But it shows that maybe Verstappen could challenge for the win, quite possibly. But that will be that'll be up to how Mercedes plays their strategy and how Red Bull plays their strategy. And then I think P3, this is kind of wishful thinking. This is kind of biasness. This is kind of me just really hoping that this will happen. P3 will be Alex Albon, getting his first ever F1 podium. As long as Lewis Hamilton isn't near him, I think he can get a podium. I think if Lewis Hamilton stopped, you know what? I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna be angry. Then P4 will be Valtteri Bottas, followed by Charles Leclerc. P6 will be Perez. I think he'll beat his teammate, followed by Lance Stroll, and I think the rest of the grid will kind of stay the same. Maybe Pierre Gasly fights his way all the way to the points, maybe not. I think he's kind of a maybe if kind of thing. Maybe he can get there if he has a good strategy, like he did in Spa. If he somehow gets there, he can fight for that. He has the pace to fight for good points. He showed that in Spa and Monza, and he's shown that before in Silverstone. He did pretty well. So I definitely think he could maybe challenge for the points. But other than that, I think the grid will stay the same. So we will see in a few hours time. If you guys have all enjoyed, please, you guys know the drill, share this with friends and family, stay safe in quarantine, follow me on Instagram at the UpshiftCast, follow me on Twitter at the UpshiftCast, follow me on Facebook at Zeki Bosham, follow me on YouTube, subscribe to me on YouTube at the Upshift Podcast. The T in Upshift is a 1 because of F1. Get it? Joke. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed. Stay safe and goodbye.